need to feel a sense of belonging. It's one of our basic human instincts, and it's a massive part of how we build our resilience. During the pandemic, many young people, including myself, have experienced both a loss of belonging and gained a new sense of it, but just in a different way. We haven't been able to hug our family and friends. We're restricted in reaching out to those we'd normally turn to, and our coping strategies of finding support through physical and social interaction have been taken away from us. But on the other hand, I've had loads of amazing conversations with my mum and dad about how their stories have shaped my stories and how that's influenced me.
I've been coming to terms with my sexuality, but when I'm at home, I just don't feel accepted for who I am. So lockdown's been a pretty daunting experience, if I'm being honest. I haven't been able to express myself, and I've missed out on LGBT social events like Pride, just as many of us have. This has had an impact on my mental health. The challenge has been accessing support for this, and having anyone to talk about how I'm feeling or what I've gone through has made me very isolated. Thankfully, I've learnt about a group which has users from all around the world, and it's a great platform for sharing ideas and normalising our experiences. I'm having discussions with people and finding out that the world isn't such a homophobic place, but more needs to be done to make the world free from prejudice and discrimination.
For me, it's about identity and how we define ourselves. Every one of us has our own story. There are many factors which make up our identity. It's not just one thing. We are more than one label, and we are more than one story. I look back on life and mental health problems haven't been a stranger to me. Sometimes I get anxious, sometimes I get down, and sometimes it's a combination of both, and that is really frightening. But I can also look back and find when strength has helped me to bounce forwards in life, like when I've learned how to problem solve, gone to a youth mentor, used online counselling services, or took part in my local sports team.
For some of us, lockdown has brought families and local communities together.
I like to watch the street all gather outside their houses and do weekly claps to support the NHS. And I definitely click with my neighbour across the road.
One evening, we were chatting as a family and my mum told us a story about how she became ill as a teenager and ended up in intensive care. The story made me think of how strong and resilient she was, but not only that, it instilled a sense of hope within me that we all go through hard times, but with the right help and support around us, we can get through it together. And that really echoed the importance of belonging during this pandemic.
After that, my dad told us a cheeky, funny story of his and mum's first date. And it didn't half make mum feel embarrassed.
I have good memories from the past, but with the future plans taken away, it was taking a toll on my mental health. But my grandmother suggested that I should start a scrapbook with all my favourite photos in. And this sparked good conversations about the good times I had in the past, and it made me realise how resilient I was through those experiences.
A strong sense of belonging is usually formed if a child develops a strong relationship with an adult in the first 2 years of life. I feel like the pandemic has given people the gift of time. My uncle usually works away from home often, and during the pandemic he was able to stay at home with his family and make memories. They seem stronger than ever.
But for others, there have been significant amount of restrictions. I haven't been able to, express and celebrate my faith in a place of worship due to, restrictions around Ramadan. And those of my friends also said that they were unable to join church services. And being from an ethnic minority background, those of my family members have been identified as, high risk to COVID, which, traumatizes me for them to the point where I'm having nightmares. It's good to see the NHS has started to roll out vaccination program, in worship places, because that has comforted my auntie, and that has meant that loads of people engaged with the vaccination program. But I do hope, that they have counselling at those centres too. I think it will be better that way.
On top of that, we saw the tragic death of George Floyd, leading to increased Black Lives Matter movements. This and the pandemic have highlighted inequalities. Many of these communities don't know how to access support when they need it. I guess discrimination and inequality still live on. It's something that we all need to look at even more. What can mental health services do to support people of colour? Like the vaccination programme, and camps going to places of worship?
My little brother's school are currently reading about this book, and it's all about children. But did you know all the characters were white? It's not very representative, is it? I guess because we've all been in this lockdown together, we should try and reduce inequality wherever we can.
For some people, there have been positives since lockdown, like being able to access online counselling services such as Kooth, having Zoom appointments to talk about their mental health. Lots of my friends have picked up new hobbies, like cycling, baking, writing. They've even trekked around Machu Picchu virtually. These are all amazing ways to bring about a sense of belonging, engaging with people from all over the world that you probably wouldn't have met in person. Before the pandemic, I never felt left out, but because of it, I do feel quite isolated. My parents don't have enough money to pay for new tech and great Wi-Fi, and I feel like I don't belong anywhere because I can't access any of the same things as my friends. I feel so excluded.
Over the past few months, I've become very passionate about protecting our environment. Even before COVID, this was an urgent issue that really needs to be addressed.
I've made friends with a group of young people who also want to care for the environment.
We still feel that our planet is on fire, and we need to be the ones to put it out.
Seeing all the key workers carrying on through the pandemic has really inspired me into going into a medical profession, as I want to give back something that's really helped me and my family. But they're not the only heroes in this. If we take a look around at all the other professionals, we wouldn't have been able to live without them. From lorry drivers to postal staff, teachers to scientists, we owe a lot to every single one of you.
So what are your thoughts? Do you think you've gained a better sense of belonging since the pandemic? Do you feel that more could have been done to support you? Or has it ignited something inside you to make a change? Let us know your thoughts using the My Mental Health COVID-19 hashtag on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thank you.